All right, so New Year's resolutions, right? Everyone's thinking about positive changes, and this time you're determined to make them stick.
Yeah.
We're going deep today into practical strategies.
Okay.
And we're drawing on the wisdom of Dawud Osborne. He's a health and well-being coach,
Right?
works with the UK's National Health Service,
Wow.
and he's helped hundreds of people transform their lives.
That's amazing.
And you know what's fascinating is that resolutions often fail
Oh,
for
yeah.
reasons that go way beyond simple willpower.
Right. One of the most common pitfalls is what Osborne calls the I'll start tomorrow syndrome.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's that all too familiar feeling of delaying gratification,
Oh, yeah.
telling ourselves we'll start fresh on Monday next week or maybe next month.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well.
Yeah.
It's like a universal human experience, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
But what's the psychology behind this constant procrastination?
Well, Osborne points to a fascinating study
Okay.
that showed that when we're faced with a choice between an immediate reward
Right.
and a larger reward in the future,
Yeah.
our brains tend to discount the value of the future reward.
Really?
It's almost as if our brains are wired
Uh,
to prioritize instant gratification,
oh, wow.
even if it means sacrificing long-term goals.
So it's not just laziness or a lack of willpower.
Yeah.
There's a real neurological basis for this struggle.
Exactly. And this tendency to delay gratification
Yeah.
is often compounded by the quick fix mentality that kind of permeates our culture.
I see.
We're bombarded with messages promising rapid weight loss, instant success, overnight transformations.
It's true.
And this sets us up for disappointment because
Yeah.
real change rarely happens that quickly.
Right. It's almost as if we've been conditioned to expect instant results.
Yes.
Which makes it even harder to embrace
Yeah.
that slow and steady process of building sustainable habits.
Absolutely. And when those quick fixes inevitably fail to deliver,
Yeah.
we often feel discouraged and give up altogether. It's a vicious cycle that keeps us trapped in a pattern of failed resolutions.
Speaking of feeling discouraged,
Yeah.
I think another major reason resolutions fail
Yeah.
is that we set ourselves up for failure from the start.
Okay.
With unrealistic expectations,
Right?
we try to overhaul every aspect of our lives overnight,
Yeah.
which can feel incredibly overwhelming.
That's a key insight from Osborne's work.
What's that?
He emphasizes the importance of setting SMART goals.
SMART goals.
Yeah, that's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Oh.
So instead of aiming to lose weight or get fit, we need to break those goals down
Okay.
into smaller, more concrete steps.
So instead of saying, I'm going to exercise more,
Right.
I might set a goal to walk for 30 minutes 3 times a week.
Precisely. By setting specific and achievable goals,
Yeah.
we create a clear roadmap for success
I see.
and increase our chances of actually following through.
Boy.
It's about making those resolutions feel manageable and empowering rather than daunting and overwhelming.
It's almost like breaking down a marathon into smaller, more achievable intervals.
Exactly.
We wouldn't expect to run 26.2 miles on day 1.
Right.
So why do we expect to transform our entire lives overnight?
It's about shifting our mindset from radical transformation to gradual progress. And this brings us to another important point Osborne makes.
Yeah.
The impact of external pressures.
This is a big one for me.
Really?
Yeah. I remember trying to eat healthier a while back, but my office had a culture of celebrating birthdays with cake and donuts.
Oh, no.
It felt almost impossible to resist those tempting treats, especially when everyone else was indulging.
That's a perfect example of how our environment can shape our behaviors.
It really is.
Osborne encourages us to take a close look at the external factors that might be influencing our choices.
Okay.
It might be family dynamics, work, culture, social circles, or even the physical layout of our homes.
I see.
Once we identify those pressures, we can start to develop strategies to mitigate their impact.
So it's not just about willpower.
Right.
It's about understanding the context in which we're making those choices.
Exactly. And sometimes it's about making changes to our environment to make it easier to make healthy choices.
Makes sense.
If you're constantly surrounded by tempting treats,
Yeah.
it's going to require a Herculean effort to resist them.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about setting ourselves up for success.
Yes.
By creating an environment that supports our goals rather than sabotages them.
Absolutely. And that leads us to another common reason resolutions fail.
What's that?
The lack of a clear why.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What do you mean by that?
Osborne emphasizes the importance of connecting with our intrinsic motivation. It's not enough to simply set a goal.
Right.
We need to understand the deeper reasons behind it.
Okay.
Why is this change important to you?
To me.
Yeah. What are the personal values, beliefs, or aspirations that are driving your desire to make this change?
So it's not just about losing weight to fit into a smaller dress size.
Right.
It's about wanting to feel more energetic,
Hmm.
improve my health,
Yeah.
or set a good example for my kids.
Precisely. By tapping into those deeper motivations,
Yeah.
we're more likely to stay committed
Yeah.
when those inevitable challenges arise.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about finding that inner drive that will sustain us when those initial bursts of motivation inevitably fade.
Exactly. And this brings us to one of the most crucial elements of successful resolutions.
Oh, okay. What's that?
Shifting our focus from outcomes to habits.
Okay. I'm ready to dive into that.
Yeah.
How do we make that shift?
Osborne suggests that instead of fixating on the end result, like losing 20 pounds or getting that promotion,
Yeah.
we need to concentrate on the daily habits that will get us there.
So instead of obsessing over the number on the scale,
Right.
I should be focusing on making healthier food choices, planning my meals, and incorporating regular exercise into my routine.
Exactly. It's about breaking down those big goals into smaller, more manageable actions that we can integrate into our daily lives.
Makes sense.
These small, consistent actions are what ultimately lead to lasting change.
It's almost like building a mosaic.
A mosaic.
Yeah, each small tile on its own might not seem like much,
Right.
but when assembled together, they create a beautiful and intricate work of art.
I love that analogy.
Thanks.
It perfectly captures the essence of habit formation.
Yeah.
Each small, positive action is a tile that contributes to the larger picture of who we want to become.
All right, I'm feeling inspired and ready to take action.
Great.
But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's recap what we've learned so far in part 1 of our deep dive into New Year's resolutions.
All right.
We've uncovered some of the hidden reasons why resolutions often fail, going beyond simple willpower.
Yeah.
And exploring the psychology behind procrastination, the allure of quick fixes, and the impact of unrealistic expectations.
And we've started to delve into some practical strategies for setting ourselves up for success.
Right.
From setting smart goals and mitigating external pressures to connecting with our why and shifting our focus from outcomes to habits.
But this is just the beginning.
That's right. In part 2, we'll continue our deep dive. Exploring even more powerful strategies for making those resolutions stick.
Can't wait.
Including the importance of accountability, the power of reframing setbacks, and the art of creating a supportive environment.
So stay tuned.
Yes. Welcome back. So let's continue exploring how to make those resolutions stick. We've talked about setting the stage for success by understanding common pitfalls and shifting our mindset. Now let's dig into some actionable strategies for building lasting change.
All right. I'm ready to get practical. Where do we begin?
One of the most powerful tools is accountability. Osborne highlights a study where individuals who shared their goals with others and received regular feedback were significantly more likely to achieve them.
Really?
Compared to those who kept their goals private.
So it's not just about setting goals.
Right.
It's about creating a system of support and accountability.
Exactly. It's about finding those people who will cheer us on, offer encouragement when we're struggling, and gently nudge us back on course if we start to stray.
That makes sense. It's like having a personal cheering squad in our corner.
Yeah.
Reminding us why we started this journey in the first place.
I love that image. And it doesn't have to be a formal support group or a professional coach.
Right.
It could be a trusted friend, a family member, or even an online community of like-minded individuals.
I see.
The key is to find those people who will provide non-judgmental support and understanding.
Speaking of support, what about those inevitable setbacks?
Oh, yeah.
We all know they're going to happen at some point.
Right.
How do we prevent those slip-ups from derailing our entire resolution journey?
That's where Osborne's concept of reframing setbacks comes in.
Reframing setbacks.
He argues that instead of viewing slip-ups as failures, we should see them as valuable learning opportunities.
Okay. I'm intrigued. How do we reframe those moments when we give in to temptation or fall short of our expectations?
It's about asking ourselves, what happened? What triggered this setback? What can I learn from this experience?
So instead of beating myself up for having that extra slice of cake,
You're right.
I might ask myself, what was I feeling in that moment? Was I stressed, tired, or simply caught up in the social context?
Exactly. By analyzing the situation,
Okay.
we can identify patterns
Mm-hmm.
and develop strategies to prevent similar slip-ups from happening in the future.
It's almost like becoming a detective.
A detective?
Yeah, investigating the root cause of our behaviors.
Right.
So we can make more informed choices next time.
I love that analogy. It's about taking a curious and compassionate approach to those setbacks, rather than falling into a cycle of self-blame and shame.
It's about recognizing that we're human.
Yeah.
And slip-ups are part of the journey.
Precisely. And that brings us to another important element of successful resolutions.
Okay, what's that?
Creating a supportive environment.
This is something we touched on earlier, but I'd love to dive a little deeper. What are some practical tips for creating an environment that nudges us towards our goals rather than tempts us away from them?
Osborne suggests we take a close look at our physical surroundings.
Okay.
And identify any potential triggers or temptations.
I see.
If you're trying to eat healthier, for example,
Yeah.
you might want to remove those tempting snacks from your pantry and replace them with healthier options.
That's a great point. It's about making it easier to make those healthy choices.
Exactly.
By removing those tempting cues from our environment.
And it's not just about food. If you're trying to exercise more regularly, you might want to lay out your workout clothes the night before.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Or find a workout buddy who can help you stay motivated.
It's about setting ourselves up for success.
Yes.
By creating an environment that aligns with our goal.
Absolutely. And another powerful strategy is to tap into the power of mindfulness.
Okay, I've heard a lot about mindfulness, but I'm not entirely sure what it means.
Right.
Or how it can help us achieve our resolutions.
Mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment without judgment.
Okay.
It's about noticing our thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations without getting swept away by them.
So it's about being more aware of our internal experience and how it influences our behaviors.
Exactly. When we're more mindful, we're less likely to react impulsively to cravings or triggers.
Okay.
We can pause, observe the craving, and then make a conscious choice about how to respond.
It's like creating a space between the impulse and the action.
Right.
Which allows us to make more deliberate choices.
Precisely. And mindfulness can be incredibly helpful for managing stress.
Yeah.
Which is often a major trigger for unhealthy habits.
I know when I'm stressed, I tend to reach for comfort foods or skip my workouts altogether.
Yeah.
It's like all my healthy habits go out the window when stress levels rise.
That's a common experience. But by practicing mindfulness, we can learn to recognize those early signs of stress and develop healthier coping mechanisms.
I see.
It might be taking a few deep breaths, going for a walk in nature, or listening to calming music.
So it's about building resilience.
Right.
And equipping ourselves with the tools to navigate those inevitable stressful moments.
Exactly.
Without derailing our progress.
And you know, another important aspect of making those resolutions stick is finding joy in the process. If you dread your workouts or find your healthy meals bland and boring, it's going to be much harder to sustain those changes over time.
That's so true. I used to force myself to eat salads that tasted like cardboard.
Oh, no?
Because I thought that's what healthy eating had to be.
Right.
No wonder I fell off the wagon so quickly.
Healthy living shouldn't feel like punishment.
Right.
It's about finding those activities and foods that you genuinely enjoy.
Yeah.
And that make you feel good, both physically and mentally.
I'm all about making healthy habits fun and sustainable.
Yes.
It's about finding what works for you, not trying to fit into some rigid mold.
Absolutely. And remember, it's not about being perfect.
Okay.
It's about progress.
So it's about embracing the journey, imperfections and all.
Exactly. And with that in mind, let's move on to part 3 of our Duck Dive.
Okay.
Where we'll explore some final tips and insights to help you navigate your resolution journey with confidence and grace.
Sounds great. I'm ready for the final installment of our resolution adventure. So we've covered a lot of ground, from understanding why resolutions fail to building a foundation for success. Yeah. Now, what final pieces of wisdom can you share as we wrap up our deep dive?
Well, one crucial aspect we haven't touched on yet is self-forgiveness.
Oh.
Often we set such high expectations for ourselves that when we inevitably stumble, we get caught in a spiral of self-criticism.
Right.
This can be incredibly demotivating.
That resonates with me. I've definitely experienced that feeling of wanting to give up completely after a setback, almost as if I'd ruined everything.
It's a common reaction, but it's essential to remember that setbacks are a natural part of any process of change.
Yeah, that's true.
Instead of dwelling on the slip-up, Try to shift your perspective.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I adjust my approach moving forward?
So instead of viewing setbacks as failures,
Right.
we can reframe them as valuable feedback,
Exactly.
helping us course correct along the way.
It's about treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding
Okay.
that we would offer a friend facing a similar challenge.
It's that self-compassion piece. Again, recognizing that we're all works in progress.
Yes.
Perfectly imperfect in our journey.
Absolutely. And along with self-compassion, another key ingredient for lasting change is finding joy in the process.
Yeah.
If we view our resolutions as a constant grind, a series of restrictions and sacrifices, it's going to be much harder to stay motivated.
That makes so much sense. We've all been there forcing ourselves to eat bland salads or endure workouts we hate.
Yeah.
All in the name of achieving some distant goal.
It's a recipe for burnout.
Yeah.
Instead, try to find activities and healthy choices that you genuinely enjoy.
Right.
Things that make you feel energized and fulfilled.
So it's about shifting our perspective from I have to I want to.
Exactly.
Making those healthy habits a source of pleasure rather than punishment.
It's about creating a sustainable lifestyle that nourishes your body and soul.
Right.
Not just checking boxes on a to-do list.
This brings to mind something I've been curious about.
Okay, what's that?
We've talked a lot about taking action-building habits, staying consistent, but what about the power of our minds?
Yeah.
Can visualization play a role in achieving our goals?
It absolutely can. Osborne is a big advocate for the power of visualization.
Really?
He suggests taking some time each day to visualize yourself successfully achieving your goals.
Okay.
Imagining how it will feel, what it will look like, and the positive impact it will have on your life.
That's a powerful idea. It's almost like creating a mental blueprint for success.
Yeah.
Imprinting that vision on our subconscious minds.
Precisely. Visualization helps to strengthen our belief in our ability to achieve those goals, making them feel more tangible and attainable.
It's almost as if we're mentally rehearsing for success.
Yes.
Training our minds to believe that it's possible.
Exactly. And that belief can be incredibly powerful in helping us overcome obstacles and stay motivated.
This deep dive has been so insightful. I feel like I've gained a whole new toolbox of strategies and perspectives.
I'm glad to hear that. As we conclude, remember this. It's not about achieving some idealized version of ourselves overnight.
Right.
It's about taking those small, consistent steps day after day and embracing the journey with all its imperfections.
And remembering that we have the power to choose self-compassion over self-criticism.
Yeah.
Joy over drudgery, and belief in our ability to create lasting change.
Beautifully said. Now, as you embark on your own resolution journey, I'd like to leave you with this thought. Knowing what you know now.
Okay.
What is one small positive action you can take today to move towards your goals?
That's a great question to ponder as we head into the new year. Remember, every journey begins with a single step, and the time for action is now.
I wish you all the best on your journey of transformation. May this be the year you create lasting positive change and embrace a healthier, happier you.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to all of you listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into New Year's resolutions. We believe in your ability to make those dreams a reality. Here's to a year of growth transformation and embracing the power within each of us to create the lives we truly desire. Happy New Year.